Hey, this is Angel. This is my 13th day in a row making a video like this. That just makes me happy knowing that I'm like staying consistent with the practice. I'm not gonna try to like hold myself to uh, something so rigid, but I do feel like it's been cool just having it be consistent. Um, so something that came up for me today was recovering from burnout and building strength. This is something I know very well. Um, I've had periods of time in my life where I've pushed myself a lot to work, to build myself up, to maintain everything that I had going on. And I have experienced burnout several times, which just kind of led me to needing requiring like more rest, more ease in life. I feel like when we give so much energy in such a short amount of time, um, it does, especially if it's like high stress, high intensity, it does start to show up later. It's kind of like working off of like borrowed time. And there are ways to do to be like very high functioning, very productive, but I'm specifically talking about like when we're under high stress situations for a prolonged periods of time that like cause burnout. So something that came up as well is like thinking about how to build strength once we've experienced this. This is something that like I've had to learn over time, and just knowing like how to bounce back, how to um, rebuild from a place of not being able to do a whole lot, or just feeling like you require more rest or like more ease. Um, Something that like really came to mind today too is like not caring so much like what people think. I think we can care about people, we can show care, we can offer support, we can be like available to others. But I think that like being able to filter out projections is really helpful, like when you're in this kind of space, because if we allow what others think, how we should live our lives, how we should go about healing, how we should go about um taking care of ourselves, it starts to like affect our internal dialogue. And sometimes like we intrinsically know what we need, we know like what um ways like to take care of ourselves. But when we start to have like other input, it can get really confusing, or we could start to be hard on ourselves. We could start to feel like like I've experienced this where like I've started to feel like, oh, like am I doing something wrong? um do I need to adjust? Like why can't I just make things work for me? So I think that like in this society, especially like in the US, there's so much demand. I think that there are so many things that are like causing people to stay exhausted, to stay in a place of never really feeling like you have enough energy to change jobs or to pursue something that you want to, or it's kind of like always feeling you're a little bit behind, always feeling like you're not good enough. Like there's a lot of things that come up that make it so that we're not being able to like fully rest or like fully feel like a sense of calm. And I think when we're talking about like not caring what others think, this is also like an extension to social media, like the impact of like that social media has on us, the impact that like just what we see in our environments and what is being shown to us as like success, being able to have a pause and know our self-worth, know what we're capable of, have self-trust, and giving ourselves time and compassion as we would like a child. That's how I see it, is like treating myself not, and there's a difference too. Like I think like being accountable for our actions, we should hold ourselves to this to the standards of like adults. It's like we have choices, we make those choices. Sometimes we make mistakes, but when we're recovering, when we're in a state of not being able to do more, being able to hold ourselves like we would a child, where we have like a lot of ease, a lot of grace, a lot of care, like while we're rebuilding. And I think this building too has to do with like strength of mind, being able to have that like that drive, that feeling like we want to recover, we want to be better, we want to strive for more, and feeling like we want that for ourselves. Sometimes others can like impact that. Like sometimes I'll feel like, I want to be better for my loved ones. I want to be better for the people that I interact with. And I think that that is like helpful as a driving force. But when things happen, relationships change, um, dynamics shift, it's like helpful to like lean back on being able to do things for yourself and being able to show up for yourself and like care for yourself as if you are also someone that you love, as if you're also like treating yourself like you would a loved one. This is something that I've had to learn time and time again. It's something that I've had to relearn and also unlearn like ways of being hard on myself. I feel like a lot of how I grew up and like a lot of like the ways that I saw people around me, like my examples, it was very much like a bootstrapping kind of mentality. Like you got to do things for yourself, like you got to like work very hard, like um just like have like a drive that's like pushing you, and the more you do, like the better you are, the more high achieving you are, like the more successful you are. And that didn't work for me. Like there were times where I would push myself and it would lead to burnout. It would lead to physical, like not being able to like physically go on, dealing with health issues, dealing with just like emotional, mental fatigue, different things that made it so that like in the long run, I was more affected. And like there are so many demands on people. I think that when we're living in this way, living the way that like the society encourages us to live, it's like very individualistic, but we do like need help from other people. We need care from other people. Like it's not it's not sustainable to just like be completely alone or isolated. And I think that especially like in a society like this where there is a lot of external forces trying to divide us, trying to separate us, trying to individualize us, it's like all the more reason to show care for people. And I think that, like, when we've experienced burnout, when we feel like we've been pushed to our limits, it can be like hard to explain that to someone who isn't going through that. Like sometimes people don't empathize, or they feel under so much stress or so much pressure that they're not able to like empathize or give more. And I feel like that's what so many things in the society are doing. Like so many systems in place are just kind of putting so much pressure on individual people while simultaneously like dividing us. And I think that's where like mental strength really plays like such an important role, because if we have mental strength, if we can be able to regulate our emotions, if we can make choices for ourselves to be more independent in the sense of like independent of systems, if we can have a sense of community, if we can do things together, if we can have a feeling of self trust, that's going to like build us up so that we can thrive, so that we have a chance, so that we're not so reliant on things that at the end of the day are hurting us, whether it's like jobs or systems, as I said, or like large corporations, like different aspects of like our society, the way our economy works, the way our housing system works, the way our healthcare system works, that make it so that there are so many barriers. It's like we're all trying to like move through and overcome these different barriers that make like daily life a challenge. And it's like, how can we make it so that we can face these challenges without getting so exhausted to the point where we need help? Like, and there's nothing wrong with needing help. I think if anyone needs help, like, they should share, they should speak up. There have been like times where I've needed help and I've been offered mutual aid. I've had friends help. I've had, people like contributing resources to me or pointing me in the direction of opportunity and resources. And at the end of the day, it was up to me whether or not I was going to take that, whether or not I was going to accept that help. And also at the same time, like moments where I've had more strength and how I can reciprocate and like participate with my community as well. I think that maintaining mental strength is like so vital to being able to survive while we have so much information coming in. Like you can go on online and like see so many issues, so many things that are happening in the world that are a cause for concern, that are so that are just like so devastating to hear and to know. And it's like during those times, especially, if we're already so pressed, if we're already like so um just overworked, underpaid, like if we feel like we're not getting the things that we need, it's like that is the time to be like that is where like the mental strength comes in. That is where like reshifting our mindsets come in, where it's maybe the most difficult time, but it's also like the most vital time, where like if we can be able to somehow, some way shift feelings of pain, shift feelings of depression, shift feelings of anxiety into sharing, into creation, into caring, into love, like that helps the world go around. Like it helps other people, it helps ourselves. It makes it so that we're like moving in a direction of more peace, of more care for ourselves, for other people, and being able to like find that sense of like find like some sense of peace amidst so much chaos. I think that there's like a lot of times too, like when we're under so much stress, it starts to affect our physical bodies like very rapidly. Some of us are like sensitive, more sensitive than others in that way too. Like, I know for me, like, if I have stressful thoughts, if I'm like under a lot of like high intense emotions, I will almost like immediately feel it in my body. I'm very like connected in that way between like the way my thoughts and like the way that my body feels. And I think for that reason too, it's like very important for me to like protect my thoughts, protect my energy. And what I was talking about earlier too about like not caring like what other people think, I think really what it is like being okay with certain outcomes, being accepting of whatever comes. Like I've had moments where I have made mistakes or things have changed, relationships have changed, I've lost friends or I've been disconnected from family. Like there's been like a lot of moments that I've had of ups and downs as far as like not feeling that sense of support or like feeling just like feeling like pain, like I didn't know like what the next step was. And I really think that like all people go through these kinds of things, maybe not in the same exact way, but I do think that all people have experienced like this type of feeling, and how to work through that, how to find like a sense of self again and find that type of like hope to be able to move forward with life, to be able to continue to love, to be able to continue to um, see other people and not like be closed off completely, to be able to bounce back like when we've been hurt before or when we've had times of like not feeling like not feeling care from others, not receiving like that kind of like love from others. It's like being able to connect with yourself and know that you are deserving. Know that you are, that because you can feel that, that means that other people can feel that for you. That other people at some point, maybe if you don't feel care like in that moment, having trust enough that those feelings will come around again, and being able to like create that for yourself too. Like there's been so many situations where I've had to let go. I've had to let go of like fear of outcomes. I've had to let go of people. I've had to let go of um just anxiety, feeling like I feeling like loss of control. And it's like being able to experience burnout too is like going through burnout is like being able to also know that there is a way out. It's like if you have an injury, like treating it as if it's like an injury. It's like being able to care for yourself and having like a sense of like letting go. Like injure my if I like I've had experiences where like I've injured my ankle. When I injured my ankle, I wasn't able to do all the things that I wanted to in that moment. There were times when I had FOMO. There were times when I had like just feeling like frustration that I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to, that I wasn't able to participate. But in taking that time to heal, it made it so that I could go on and I could experience those things again. And I think recovering from burnout is the same way. It's like maybe you won't get to, maybe there are feelings of frustration, like you want to do so much, but you just feel like drained, you feel exhausted. And it's like knowing that those times will come again if we take the time to heal ourselves and not push ourselves, not be harsh with ourselves, like having a sense of softness, having a sense of grace, like with yourself, knowing that even small moments of that will recover that strength, and not letting what anyone tells you, even sometimes people who care about you, even sometimes people who are close to you, like there's a difference between concern, people having concern for you, and people like projecting how they feel or how they would go about a situation onto you, and being able to like ask yourself, what is the difference? Being able to have like that kind of filtering and also like self inquiry to be able to know like what is helpful, is something making you feel, is it adding to the stress, is it adding to feeling positive, is it going to be something that is like coming from a place of care, and maybe you need to assess that for yourself. Is there things that you're doing that are hurting yourself, but also is what other people are bringing to your attention, is it something that it has more to do with them than you? And I think like a lot of times too, like being able to recover from these things and being able to build strength again means that like we have to have that feeling for ourselves, knowing that there is a way to recover, that there is a way forward, that like this isn't the end all, this isn't like the only reality. There are other things, but being able to like keep our mind in such a state where we're trying to have positive moments, and also like feelings of like being able to like build faith. And when I talk about faith, like I'm not talking about like um religion. It's like I do see myself as like a spiritual person, but I think like being able to have faith means that like you can move with faith, knowing that if your intuition is telling you something, and it's a you know that it's like a good thing, you know that it's like a helpful thing, being able to trust that regardless of what anyone is telling you, regardless of the things around you that might say otherwise or that are trying to push you in a direction. It's like knowing knowing that intuition, having that intrinsic feeling, and continuing to connect to that. If you feel disconnected from that, if you feel like a sense of loss, like just at a loss, or like a sense of confusion, being able to find ways to take time to reconnect. What does that mean? Like, what does that look like for each person? Like, in my case, it's like sometimes just like sitting with myself somewhere, taking time from people, taking time from sometimes like even even like environments that I know are going to be high stimulation, like being able to pull myself out of that, out of like those scenarios, and having like a sense of calm, being able to have moments where I can recalibrate and really like ask myself, okay, if this is not working for me, there must be another way. If this is not helpful for me, there has to be another option. And having courage to seek those other options, even if there is fear of the future that exists, even if there is anxiety that exists, it's like being able to persevere and being able to have that trust like long enough, have that faith long enough to find a way out and know that you can. Know that you are capable of it. You, as you are, you don't need to, there's nothing beyond you. It's like strength already exists within you. It's just about fostering it, it's just about helping it grow, watching it build, taking the things day by day, doing small things. Like for me, it's like, putting oil, like self massage, caring for like my physical body, eating certain foods, um, caring like for my skin, being able to do these things where like in finding ways that don't overextend either, like not fixating on it either, like being able to tend to myself, being able to care for myself, but in a way that also doesn't create more stress, like feeling like I'm only going to be able to do something if I have this thing. It's like working with what you have and being able to like move with that trust. Like, okay, I'm working with what I have right now. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a little more. Maybe the next day I'll be able to work with something different. What can I do right now in the moment? What actions can I take so that I'm not stagnant, but I'm also not overextending myself, and being able to like find that balance is, I like, for me, like it is self-care, it is like rebuilding. And I've heard this like time and time again too, like knowing that like what is for you will not miss you. I think being able to like really reiterate that to myself, like having that internal dialogue allows me to like let go, because even if we are holding on to something so tight, even if we want things to like work out the way we want them to, it's like having like a shoe that doesn't fit, like maybe you really like the way the shoe looks, maybe it's like super cool, but like it doesn't compare to having something that works for you, that fits you, that feels right, not just something that like looks right on the outside, but something that feels right, something that is to the nerve. Oh, I think it like cut out for a second, but things that are calming to the nervous system. So yeah, and having like appreciation also for the people around you that do encourage you, the people around you that do support you in being able to make those decisions for yourself, come to those conclusions. Like those are real ones. um and I feel like so much gratitude for like people in my life that have been able to like be there for me and have like seen me through my process as well, because I think that like we really are stronger together. We really can provide so much care for each other if we allow that to happen, and if we're open to that, and we have like enough self-trust to be able to trust others also. This was kind of a long one, but yeah, that's what I had so far today. Recovering from burnout, building strength, having gratitude for community, for people around us who encourage us to be better, to rebuild ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to live well. Um, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this as long as I want to, and it was good chatting. Take care.